In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to fix those bruised knuckles. When your hand is just so sore and you're going, I can't do the sport I love anymore. Boxing, MMA, kickboxing, anything where you have to punch with a glove on and you're having bruised knuckles, it's awful. It's the worst. I had it for so long. Using just these tools on here, I'm going to show you how a physiotherapist, hand physiotherapist, helped me overcome an injury that I had for something like 6 weeks after a fight in 1 week. I had 6 weeks where nothing was happening. Progression on recovery was like nothing, just damage. And then all of a sudden 1 week, boom, back to normal. I have been using these because before my last fight, I was fighting in these gloves, these tiny little gloves. So I was training in these gloves and I caught my brother's hip and the left knuckle was so damaged going into the fight, and then obviously I fought, injured it even more, and I had to heal it when I came back. I went, otherwise I'm not going to be able to fight for so long. So I started utilizing all these. Lo and behold, my hand is back in place. And it doesn't matter if you're using these types of gloves, you can still get massive knuckle damage. I've had it in the past. I did not know how to heal it. Now, of course, this goes without saying, hopefully, if you think you've broken your hand, or you think you need extra care, go seek the guidance of a medical professional. I'm just showing you guys my experience and how I heal myself, because maybe I have the money, but I don't have the time to be going 3 times a week off to hand physio. I want to get it done here, and I know the tools I need. What else could I ask for? Having knowledge. Knowledge is everything. So I wish somebody would have shared this with me years ago. We got an elastic band. I'll talk about this in a moment, how we're going to use it. And we have this 5-finger elastic band that I got from XMartial. So if you're looking for the proper care, you want some of the actual real tools, you can head over to their website and find things where you can work on their grip strength, or your grip strength, or these for your fingers for healing. But I'm going to talk you through all of this and exactly what I've done. Before we get to that, everybody keep in mind, we have massive savings right now on my upcoming sweeps and throws course called Takedown, 40% off with the early bird pricing. That is going to change very soon. If you're wanting to get your sweeps, your throws, Muay Thai style on point so you can start dominating in sparring, being that person who can time somebody and toss them to the floor, you want to get registered for this course. I'm going to throw a link right there, one down below. Hope to see you guys there for those live calls. We have 3 live calls, 25 videos. It's going to be spectacular. Okay, the very first thing that we're talking about when you've injured your hand. First of all, don't go and start punching the day after it's really injured. You'll know, right? There's sore where you're like, it's a little sore to the touch. And then there's when you can't even close it. And I had this in my last fight. I couldn't even make a fist. So going into the fight, I was like, oh snap. I can't close it. Hopefully the adrenaline takes over when we get in the fight and then I can actually start utilizing it. But if you do have damage, ice. It's always a good way. Ice, let it rest. But at some point you're gonna feel like, the progression is not happening as quick as I want, and then you have to start doing the physio. So the very first one that I do is I take a little elastic band. A lot of times I'll just go between 2 fingers when I'm starting off, and I'm just working little extensions. I put it right on the finger that's damaged. In this case, it was actually between the knuckles, so I was doing 2 of them, and I'm just doing these little stretches where I just extend the fingers out as far as I can. I can feel all the little muscles in there working. How long will I do this? That's probably the question that you're going to ask. Is it like 10 reps or something? I basically do it with any spare time I have. If I'm on the computer editing videos, if I'm doing some research, I got this hand fortunately, which is my dominant one, so I can use this for everything, and this hand can just be working away. If I put in 5 minutes a day, the progression is going to be slow. If I can put in half an hour or an hour, be doing little things when I'm watching a movie or something, progression just skyrockets. So just doing this over and over and over, getting those little muscles working away, bringing blood flow to the area really seems to help. And again, if you are fortunate enough to pick up one of these, you can essentially do the same thing. Now for me, this is all the 5 fingers, and I wasn't really worried about the 2 outside ones, so I just eliminated those and just went in like this. And as my fingers gotten stronger, I went, you know what? I want to challenge myself more. So I started closing the distance where I can hardly extend. But just doing this throughout the day has helped me so much. I can still feel the knuckle there too. It's still a little bit sore, but this is more of an extension, and that's good in its own way. But what we also want to do is work pulling the fingers together. So if you have a little piece of foam, that's great. But if you don't, you can just pick up a t-shirt, a towel cloth, something like that, that you can fold up into a nice little bundle. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put your fingers out, put something in between, and then squeeze them together. And you're just going to be squeezing away. This one, again, for me right now is so hard. I like to rest down a lot of times when I'm doing this too. I don't have my hand elevated, so even with the band, I'll be doing a flat down situation, and I'm just squeezing in and out, in and out, in and out. And because I need to get the knuckle here on both sides, I'll switch. And again, I'll be doing that. You could have 2 things of material. If you wanted, I could just interwind it here, and now I can do it all at once. And again, just these reps, as many as you can, where I'm bringing it together, but then I'm also working that extension with the bands. That's really all I do. That's all I need. And it served me so well. Like I said in the past, the progression at some point in healing seemed to stop. I'm like, okay, I can close my fist, but it's still so tender. And as soon as I started doing this stuff, fast heal. Now, of course, just like the thumbnail, this could happen when you punch somebody in the head out in the street. Hopefully you're not doing that, not needing to do that. But if you have a glove that continually damages your hand, and I've had this in the past, just like, oh, my knuckles are always sore, always sore. Change gloves, problem solved. Why does this make a difference? In my experience, it is because different gloves have different slopes on them. Some are a little bit softer on the slope, some are very aggressive, and it puts different pressure on your knuckles. You can put a glove on and make a fist and go, oh, right away I feel the pressure of the glove pushing in. That can aggravate it when you're landing those shots. Time and time again, you're going, ow, ow, ow. If you get a different glove, all of a sudden, knuckle pain can go away. I trained, like I said, for almost a decade, switching gloves constantly, injury. One day I found a pair that were just, oh, so good for me. And I still have those downstairs, still utilizing them. Unfortunately, you guys cannot get them. The company stopped making them. That's why I'm holding on to this pair, trying to get another 3-4 years out of them. Yeah, a little bit heartbreaking that I can't recommend them to you guys just because they're not available for purchase, but experimenting with different gloves. Now, most people don't have the ability to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a glove every 2 or 3 months to try out. So what do you do instead? When you're at the gym, just ask a couple people, can I try your glove on? I'm just thinking of getting a new glove. I just wanna see what it feels like. And be very aware as you make your fist, what happens with the pressure. If the pressure is pushing into the knuckle, it might not be the one for you. I'm very aware of this when I try on gloves nowadays. But hopefully, these simple tools will help you heal yourself if you do have those sore or bruised knuckles. And again, this can come from after a fight. Get your hands wrapped, should help. But still, after a fight, it can get damaged. Maybe you lose your temper one day, you just punch a wall or a door or something like that because you're in a bad mood. I don't know, but hopefully not getting into street fights. And again, doesn't really matter what I have. Little elastic band, just a piece of cloth. I basically use these little makeshift things, and now I'm fortunate enough to have this and just walking around the house loads of the time, just doing that as I plunk away at other activities that I have, other things that I have to do. So hopefully this helps you guys. Of course, you've probably heard the old boxing, I'm not going to say myth because it's not a myth, but a solution for healing sore hands, bruised knuckles, which I've done before and seems to help. You can take a bucket, fill it up with some rice, just enough that you can get your hand in that's kind of submerged, and then just start moving your hand around. But it's essentially the same thing as this. Why does that help? Because your hand is moving under resistance. All the little hand muscles are having to work. So it's the same thing as this, right? I'm just, except now I'm not extending and squeezing, I'm just focusing on one thing and then going to the other thing. But if you want to keep it old school and you want to go with your hand in a bucket of rice, that is fine as well. Just getting these little muscles working away. Last thing I'm going to say today about your feet. We have our hands that we have to take care of. If you're ever trying to heal your feet, and I had to do this because I was going, oh, my feet are so damaged, they hurt so much. And my athletic therapist years ago said, go walk on the beach, walk on the sand. You're gonna get all those little foot muscles having to work extra hard because the sand's shifting, the foot has to move. And I started doing that when my feet were injured, and I still try to go out and walk barefoot every once in a while in the sand, and I've had no problems since. So foot problems, sand, hand problems, rice, or these lovely tools. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you back here soon.